Good evening, Skytear fans. Tonight is a very special night. This is Ian, and with me, as always, is my best friend in the world, Tim Bunn. Welcome, Tim.
Hey everybody, especially Ian, my
Yeah.
other best friend in the world.
So tonight we have a very special treat for you. So earlier in the day, Doc Nicka and Eric played their World Qualifier finals, and we weren't able to get any live stream happening, but thanks to Rafa, he recorded it. And so tonight we are going to live stream the recording for you, and you're going to have the sultry tones of Tim and myself doing the commentary.
What else could you want on a lovely Sunday evening?
What else could be better? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit play on this recording. And while I'm doing that, Tim, tell us a little bit about the flip and who chose the outsiders and going first and that sort of thing.
Sounds good. I believe that because Doc Nicka was a higher seed, he got to pick. He got to auto win the coin flip. Do you know if that's true, Ian?
Yeah. Doc Nicka was the number
Okay.
one seed coming out of Swiss. Eric was the two seed. So yeah, Doc got the choice of either choosing his outsider or choosing first or second. And I think what we learned was Doc chose to go first.
First. And then I believe that Eric here is going to take his outsider instead of the Dark Vigilante. If I was a betting man, and I am, uh, the Dark Vigilante is going to be a lot of damage that is potentially going to happen to Eric, and he's not going to have to deal with that, which is very convenient for him. Ooh, a hunting for power, a tactician, and a double kill.
Okay, so that's interesting. So, we were talking a little bit before the cast, Tim, about why Doc would choose to go first over his outsider. And I think that double kill objective is the reason right there.
I think double kill or hunting for power.
Yeah, either one. So those,
Um,
I think, Rampant Hatred turn two. It's Eric, the bane of Eric's existence.
yeah, and I think that both of those objectives are the primo objectives for you to choose.
But seeing a tactician, Eric's got to love that. But
Yeah, I mean, I think that's obviously his win condition. He's going to be pushing for here, and you see him. He's picking frail there, which is going to be his anti hunting power hero, which is going to have some heals, so he can do some reaction damage or heal the outsider outside of range of that final blow. And he's going to hope that with those cards, he's going to be able to survive and get this tactician win, or push to a nexus, ideally quicker than he can.
yeah, and I think he's probably also. Wouldn't be shocked if we see him bring Korjoff to this match. I think that Korjoff brings a lot of the out of hand damage as well, the Nightmare Incarnates and things like that. So, which here it goes. He does bring Korjoff as well as Brilvar.
Yeah. And then you also see Doc Nicka taking a chemo, which is sort of his anti-blue with some, what's that new green card that the next time a hero would be healed, they're healed instead?
Yeah, I don't play these little heal cards. I don't know what these things are about.
I forget the name of it. It was in my deck as well. And then also he's running the, I think, exhaustions on him for Yami and Nalaklan to play to get rid of those shapeshift tokens and change them to disarms or slows.
Yeah, so this is going to be a really exciting match. Two of the best Skytear players right now meeting in the finals. I mean, what more could you ask for?
And it's sort of poetic that it's a push deck versus an aggro deck.
Yeah, and we talked about this yesterday with the match with Clinton, that it was really important that there were objectives for both sides, because this match, if there wasn't a tactician objective, Eric would really be struggling, I think, just right out of the gate. But he does have a win condition in front of him. He's got a path to victory. It's just a matter of, can I stay alive?
Yeah, for sure. It looks like we did some mulligans. Eric got rid of a couple of 3 mana cards he's not going to play for a minute. He's got plenty of those. And then Doc Nick is going. Moving to the dome, he's going to worship, probably damaging Frail, if I was a betting man. And then probably going to lead.
Yeah, he's worshiping
Brilvar. Oh, Brilvar. Bold.
Yeah, flipping a +1, so it's going to be 2 damage to both Ogasai and Brilvar. And just in case anybody watching we are playing this at 1.5 speed, so if things look like they're moving a little bit quicker, That's definitely the case. So if you see Tim and I falling behind, that's why. But we're gonna do our best.
I think we'll be just
I
fine.
think
And
so.
then Hokusai finishes up with a lead from hand there. Classic opening. I've done this 1,000 times with a very similar deck to Doc Nicka's.
And you did fairly well with that deck, right?
I did. I
You
did
did
indeed.
okay.
I did. All right. So I imagine that Eric is happy that he chose Hokusai or Brilvar instead of Frail here. I think Frail's going to be way easier to kill on the whole. Um, Activating Estrita. She's going to move, probably shapeshift herself.
Yep, there's the worship.
Yep. And then she's going to get one of those minions. How good is Estrita, Ian?
She's so good, and the minion, the advantage that she gives you on a lane to get an extra minion is so huge, and especially even on turn one. Because if Doc just ignores that, Eric doesn't have to send anything else that way. He's got that lane tied up. She's so good. She's so good. Why has Blue got to be so good?
They got a lot of the good
They
cards.
do.
All right. Now Doc Nick is up. I wonder if he just does an Akimo's Gambit and go for Estrita over there.
Is that what all the cool kids call it? The Akimo Gambit?
I mean, that's what I'm calling it. Move, skirmish, attack.
I feel like we may have been playing too much chess, Tim, if we're calling things, bringing chess into Skytear with the Akimo Gambit.
I mean, I'm more than okay with it.
All right, here she's deciding to go with Yami. Who's just going to move and skirmish and worship.
On.
You're a betting man. Who do we worship?
I don't think it should be Brilvar. It might be Korshov.
He's definitely thinking about it. Choosing
Frail.
Frail. Okay.
I still stand by if you just done that mark to Frail with Hogosai there.
All right.
You're going to be really in range of getting Frail down there.
Yeah. And Yami does flip a 3, so that's going to be 4 damage down to Frail. She's going to go down to 13. So as Tim is playing a deck similar to what Doc Nick is playing, what are the main keys that you're looking for in a match like this? What are you trying to set up?
So to me, I think you're wanting to set up either a hunting for power or a double kill, obviously. But to set up a double kill effectively, I think you want to get Frail down or off of the board because she's the one that's going to be healing. She's going to be able to answer the hunting for power with the reaction damage.
Mm-hmm.
So like getting her off the board is going to just open up so much space for you to try to win the other ways.
So we saw there an activation for Brilvar, who worshipped on Freyhill, who healed back up, healed 2 hit points from her ability, and Brilvar just moved over into lane 1 and led from the top of the deck.
Yeah, and I think this is something that Eric's going to be doing is sort of spreading out because he doesn't have the Dark Vigilante to worry about. He's going to be able to, not have to contest the dome as much because it's not as much damage coming from the outsider. And by spreading his heroes like this, he's going to make it harder for a double kill to happen.
Eric is in the chat with us saying that this is kind of surreal watching this back. So, Eric, keep the spoilers to yourself.
That's incredible. It's like Inception.
All right, so we're back over to Doc Nicka here.
Yeah, looks like he's thinking. He's in the tank.
Imagine if we didn't have this on 1.5 speed. We might be here
all
night.
Indeed. Does he cross with the chemo and try to get some more damage on Brilvar?
I don't know. Are we going to see the Akimo Gambit and go after Estrita?
That's not the Akimbo. For Estrita, yeah. I mean, I think that at this point, you probably are going to apply more pressure to Brilvar on this side because you can at least go back into the dome if you want to, or you just have more options, I think.
So in Doc's deck, is he packing any armor hate, any smelts armors, or?
I believe that he is. Let me look here, actually.
And he is choosing to
I
activate
know,
Akimo.
I know. I was in my deck, and his deck is very similar. Let's see.
All right, I think you're right, Tim. It looks like he is choosing to head towards Brilvar, but here he's stopping short a little bit and doing a worship. And worshipped on, I couldn't tell because he chose not to move if he did worship, and decided to lead from deck.
Just getting prepared for the next round, it seems.
Yeah, maybe so. And Eric just jumping right in the dome with a skirmish action onto Hokusai.
Yep, she's shapeshifted, so she's going to be doing piercing damage.
Yep, I missed what the flip was on the skirmish. Hokusai
looks like it was a 2.
Yeah, Hokusai going down to 13. And then last action, she's going to worship. See if she can't get that last hit point back on the heal here. We might, yep, flipping a +1. So
back up to full.
Just like that.
This is what Frail does. It's really obnoxious. And yes, Akimo does have Smelt Armors, Exhaustions, and Reclaim Life is the name of the card I was trying to think of.
Reclaim Life, there it is. All right, so here comes Nalochlin. Okay, so how important is setting up a pillar for Nalochlin early like this?
So it's not necessarily imperative, but it definitely makes your life a lot easier. Turn 2 if you're going for the flex Rampant Hatred. Luckily, he doesn't have to worry about any dooms coming from Eric or anything like that.
Sure.
So it's less critical. But I think that being able to clear your mana, depending on what cards you're going to play with it, also can be really huge.
We saw there a +2 attack on Freyhill, so Freyhill going down to 11. So now all Eric has left is Korjoff.
Indeed. And I'm pretty sure Eric went into the dome there to try to contest the hunting for power if he does decide to go for it.
Okay, look at that. He's going to make an attack on that pillar. There's Eric's pillar hate.
Just an attack action. That's all you need.
That's all you need. And so Eric is going to do, I think, everything he can to just tie this dome, right? He does not want to see the outsider ever come into play.
Yes, but I don't think he's going to be able to tie it with Brovar on the outside right now.
Oh, that's right. He didn't have a lead from Freyhill or Korjoff here. Okay.
And Hokusai had the lead from hand, so it's very unlikely.
So you think the Akimo lead from the top of the deck is just because I have nothing else to do, so why not?
So I think it's so that he can guarantee that the outsider is going to spawn.
Sure.
So if Eric had a way to get in there with enough lead to tie with the 3 mana, he just has a guaranteed way to choose the other one, or more likely guaranteed way to choose the other one in.
So that's an important
guarantee
fact
that it spawns.
If I have 2 leads, 1 a 3 and 1 a 2, I can choose the 2 if I want
Correct.
to. Got
you
it.
Definitely can. And you definitely want to do that when hunting for powers on the table. And that's your win condition, especially against a deck like Eric's that's not necessarily great at doing it.
All right, so it does look like Eric won both lanes, pushing those all the way up to the towers, and Doc was able to win the dome. And do you imagine you just kind of keep the bear off to the side and something just accessible to him?
I think so for sure. I think that you might try to get an attack on Korjoff or something, and then just move into a bush next to Doc's spawn there, or something like that, and then Nalochlin can Rampant Hatred backwards and try to finish it.
'Cause I see this setup of the Doc's 4 heroes all in the dome. I mean, to me, it just screams, I've got Rampant Hatred ready to go. All right, so he's looking over the Terror's card. The Terror is one of the most powerful outsiders. The ability, and we saw it last night, to great use to slow and disarm your opponent's heroes can be incredibly powerful.
I agree completely. I think that Eric is, if Doc has the Rampant Hatred, Eric really needs a Snowblind right now. I think a Snowblind will be the best way to prevent this hunting for power from happening.
And he did put Korjoff and Brayhill in really good spots. If he does have a Snowblind, he's going to be able to hit 3 of those heroes.
And I think that's very intentional on Eric's part, if he has them. Because the bear can, in theory, deal with one of them and get them out of position. But it's hard to do both.
Eric saying in the chat, he said when he didn't go after Astrida with a chemo, I really thought he had Rampant Hatred.
That makes sense.
Yep. All right, so it looks like Doc's still trying to think about what he wants to do with the bear here. He does have to spawn in a cover hex. So yeah, I would expect to see a spawn just right up near his starting nexus there, but
I think spawning it like next to Brovar is ultimately fine.
Yep.
Because Brovar's not shapeshifted, so he can like skirmish in attack Korjoff and then move to the cover hex that's not closest to Doc's spawn zone, but right next to it. If he has Rampant Hatred, if that's his plan.
Yeah, it looks like he's probably doing a little bit of counting here with the hexes on what can I do and where I'm out of the dome. Because I think it's really important that if Rampant Hatred is something he has in hand, he wants to make sure that that bear is not going to be left in the dome for Korjoff and or Freyhill to do any sniping kills with a Nightmare Incarnate or a heal card from Freyhill.
Yeah, for sure. So at worst, he needs to push without out of range 3 of those 2 heroes in the dome.
All right, so we see a skirmish action. All right, looks like we're going to give Frenzy to Nalaklan.
Oh, yeah. That's dirty.
That's a good play.
Interesting.
I think maybe he's just choosing to go on that side maybe here instead of the other hex.
He can't skirmish out directly, though, which is the...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just moving away.
Yeah. Which is functionally the same as that cover hex, I think.
Yep, I think you're right. All right, they are all done with round 1, heading into round 2. So if he has a Rampant Hatred, you don't waste any time, right? You just play it right here?
Oh, I think so. I think that it's so much damage. If he has the Snowblind, that's still 3, 6, 10, 13 damage. Not enough quite.
But remember, he has the Frenzy attack as well.
That's including that.
Oh, okay.
Because he's going to get 2, 3+ attacks, which are likely to be 5 damage apiece, which rounds down to the 3. That's 6 damage for attacks. And then even if he gets the plus 4 skirmish, it's likely to be a 6, which is going to be 3 apiece as well. So that's 12 total damage if it's disarmed. Moments like this is whenever you would hope to still have that pillar on the board so you could play a Clear Mind or something.
Sure.
Which is probably why Eric killed that pillar.
It's almost like he knows what he's doing.
Almost.
All right. They are making sure that bear's hit points are on the tracker. So how do you feel about the hunting for power objective? I found that any time that it is one of the three, it is almost always, and I say that, I don't know if I've ever played a game where it wasn't the victory condition when it was on the field.
I've played a handful of games where it's not the victory condition that gets triggered, but it's not many.
Yeah.
It's just a very
It's very polarizing.
that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. It's a very polarizing objective.
All right, so I'm not sure if Doc is chosen yet who he's going to activate first, or if that was just the token on Nalachlin from last round. I don't know if that's been moved yet.
Nalachlin wasn't last to go last round, so I think that's who he's activating.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Eric makes some good points. Clear Mind, Release of Spirits, or Exhaustion are all possibilities to get rid of that disarm.
Yep, a lot of ways there to clear. Okay, so activating Nalachlin, and Yami is going to play a Doom.
Yep, and then there comes the Snowblind with Korja.
Followed up with a Snowblind. So you'd called it. Eric did have the Snowblind needed there. Yeah, so they're clearing up the stack, making sure that it all looks right. So Doom going on the stack, then immediately followed by the Snowblind from Korjoff.
Yep, hitting all three of those guys. It's very nice. And like Eric said, a Release of Spirits would be very good here. Nourish coming from Korjoff.
Yep.
Probably trying to heal Frail.
Okay, we got quite the stack happening here. Then we have an Exhaustion.
So they'll have a Disarm.
So it looks like Yami played both the Doom and the Exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw the Flux being played.
Yep.
And is the Rampant.
And I think that with the Disarm, this feels interesting. Oh, the Nourish was from the Doom flip, is what Eric's saying. That makes sense.
Got it. Okay, and then we have a Crawling Darkness. Is that what I see?
Yep, to give slow.
Yep. All right, so this is going to be a +4 skirmish from the Rampant Hatred.
Mm-hmm.
Flipping a 6, that's going to do 3 piercing damage because of the Disarm. Disarms coming in clutch. So Eric had both a Snowblind in hand and the Crawling Darkness.
Yeah. And I think that Doc Nicka not having any of those 3 clear cards is huge for Eric.
Yeah, only having the one Exhaustion there to remove the one. But having the double Disarm there was great. So flipping a +2 on the attack.
So another 3.
So another 3. And here comes our Frenzy attack.
This is scary.
Okay, here's a 3, so we're at 6. So another 3.
Like Doc Nicka's doing all this damage, and then Frail's going to be able to come in maybe and clean it up.
Well, at the moment, Frail has no mana to spend. She has spent it all.
That's fair. Korjoff coming in.
Korjoff has also spent his mana.
Why does no one have mana?
Because he had to disarm everybody. Oh, we do have the bear down to 9.
Would it be better, you think, to do all of this damage to Frail?
So, and that's where I wonder why.
Or Frail and Korjoff to get them both down low.
Why is this objective so polarizing when damage to Eric's heroes here I think is just as good?
Well, I don't know that it's just as good, but once ever the disarm actually landed, Like you're not going to kill the bear.
Sure.
So it's like I would rather not put the bear within range of you to have shenanigans and me to get you ready for a double kill, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I think if you know you're not going to get the kill, might as well continue to pour into Freyhill. Um, because the minute she's off the board, you've got to feel a whole lot better about your chances of killing the bear going into round 3.
Yeah, if you don't get the double kill this round.
Yeah. All right, so I would imagine here that he's still thinking about he's going to have another 4+ skirmish available to him. But my guess is he's now thinking, hey, I cannot kill the bear here.
Yeah.
Do I even want to put this more damage into him?
He has a skirmish left, I think.
Yep.
For damage dealing abilities. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that putting it in the bear is the right call.
Yeah, Eric in chat is letting us know that that's exactly what he's debating here, is whether or not to take this last skirmish. Yeah, and I think it's right to think about it. You rush into it. But does he see the same things that we're seeing, that Gorgehoff and Freyhill do not have any mana left?
Even if it's not, though, if he just gets a lucky flip, it's just a dead bear.
Sure.
I don't think you want to risk that. I think if you just wait another activation and let Hokusai go back there and triple flip him or something.
It does look like he declared the skirmish. So at best here, we're going to get another 3 damage.
If he flips a +3, it goes up to 7, which is 3.5, 4 damage.
Yeah, so
he could
get to 4. Okay.
Which I don't think you want.
Sure. Or do you, and maybe a chemo just finishes him off?
Eric
I guess
getting an activation in there.
Everybody's disarmed here. This is so rough. Eric having those clutch disarms. All right, so though he clicked the skirmish button, he still may be contemplating whether this is the right move or not.
I mean, I think skirmishing is the right move.
It's just, do you jump back into the dome and
put that in? I think you go back in the dome because you can't waste the 4+ damage. I don't think that you can do that. And I don't think it's wise to put it into the bear right now.
Sure.
So I think that if I were him, I would go back in the dome and hit Frail.
Well, it looks like great minds think alike. Well, maybe.
Oh.
I mean, I think this is such an important action here. I mean, this is worth the time.
I agree completely.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest downsides in these Skytear games is I often rush into plays without really giving it the full thought. And in a game with this importance, I think it's really worth the time to think out your plays.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if Doc had stopped to think for a minute before doing the first Rampant Hatred skirmish, if he arrives at the same conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because that could be a Frail down to 2 health right now pretty easily.
Yeah, Eric's mentioned in the chat that his deck only has only 3 +0 cards, 9 +1s, and 2 +3s. So he's debating if Eric can get a kill from 9.
I think 9 is way harder than 6.
Yeah, so if he gets him down to 6 now, he's thinking, all right, I bet Eric could do 6. It's important to note that the bear does have one piece of armor, but Freyhill would be piercing. So,
and so would Gorgehoff.
So yeah, I think you're right. With one good flip, the bear could go down. For those that have played Eric, it's always
Gorgehoff's also shapeshifted, so he'll get fast and +1, so he could do 4, 1, 5 skirmish for 1, 6. It's really close and not like insane. So I think that I think getting him down to 6 is not the move here.
Eric, let us know in the chat if in your Skytear career, if you've killed more outsiders or more heroes. Because I'm going to guess that you've probably sniped a few wins with hunting for power than you have killing heroes with this with your blue deck.
Oh, and Korjov gets +1 skirmish for being shapeshifted as well.
Yeah, Korjov can really put some hurt here.
So he's doing 5 damage before flips. Yeah, that's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I'm glad this is not me, because I would definitely screw up this math, I'm sure. That's why these guys are where they're at. And Eric says in the chat, not as many outsiders as he would like.
That's not true, Eric. You hate killing outsiders. You hate killing anything.
All right, so he's still debating this this move. Okay, so coming into the dome.
If Eric wins this tournament with hunting for power, I'm gonna laugh so hard.
And flipping a +1 on Freyhill. So hitting for 3.
All right. What does Eric have?
Well, so Nalaklan still has 1 extra action left because he did the first skirmish from Rampant and 1 attack was from a Frenzy. So he's still got 1 more action here. And so Eric in the chat letting us know that they did some math here. So at the outsider at 9, Eric needs a +1 and then 1 of the 2 ults.
Yep. And that would get him there.
Yep. All right, so it looks like we're going to see a worship action as the final action from Nalaklan. That you don't lead there, but
I don't think he cares right now.
Probably doesn't need it.
He can probably follow up with a lead with someone else if he really needs to.
So if you're Eric, do you go for it here?
I think it depends on what's in my hand. Do I have multiple heals? Maybe I just move Brilvar into range of the outsider so he can cast the heals on him.
Okay, so he is activating Brilvar. Yeah, so I think this is a smart play. Lock down a chemo here.
Yeah. Because Yami's going to struggle to get in there with multiple flips. He could also move in with Estrida to disarm Yami in a minute.
Now, Yami can kind of slingshot off Korjov and get up there.
Well, he can slingshot off of Brilvar now.
Or yeah, off of Brilvar. Yep, slingshot off of Brilvar. But Yami doesn't have any mana either. So I was thinking, get Yami close where she could play a Nightmares or something. But she spent her mana on the exhaustion. Yeah, Brilvar doing what he does best and just taunting a chemo.
Huh. He would have flipped the ult. And then now it's back to Doc Nicka.
Okay, going with Yami.
Yep. Worshipping
Freyhill.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, just trying to get her off the board. I think that's a smart play.
She's going to be 0 armor.
Okay, playing a smelt armor in response.
Interesting. Oh, she's +1 armor because of Brilvar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flipping a +2.
3.
Looked like that smelt armor came from Hokusai. So a skirmish attack here probably finishes Freyhill off. Right? You could do 5 with the if you get a +2 flip.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna see the attack. Okay, Brilvar coming in with the shelter.
Which is the first mana that he's used this turn. Yeah. Ooh, a Reclaim Life from Hogsai. Love it.
Yep, sorry, chat. I do not have the Reclaim Life card in my database here because who plays that card?
And then Skirmish to Killer. Oh.
All right, there it is. So attack, skirmish, took care of Freyhill.
That's interesting placement for Yami because now it's hard for
Hokusai
to get up to the outsider.
Yeah, and where he put the outsider, Hokusai can't even do a worship action against him if he wanted to.
So he'd have to move Worship Skirmish.
Yep.
To get 1 flip. If I were Eric, I would think about going for the win here.
With Korchoff and just go for it.
Although he did flip one of the ults. Depends how many cards are in the deck.
Sure.
And I guess Eric technically would have drawn the ultimate whenever he declared the attack, unless he did the skirmish first. I don't know. Lots of variables there.
Yep. All right, so maybe this is Eric's time to go in the tank side. All right, going with Astrida.
Moving up. Going to disarm Nalaklan again.
So if he takes the worship action here, yep.
It's disarming somebody.
Yeah, I think that's... So if Astrida wasn't good enough on her own by eating minions and making new ones, the ability to disarm is so good. It came into crucial play last night against Clinton when he was able to hit the outsider with the disarm. It's a really good turn. It's just going to make it even more difficult for Doc here to kill the outsider next round if he decides to go that route.
Yeah. I might go with the Korchoff, whenever you finally get there, and move up there and do a skirmish and see how much damage I do before I declare an attack.
Sure.
See if I am in range. Maybe not. Eric doesn't like to do that, so...
Eric let us know in the chat that he had 10 cards left.
Yeah, I don't know that math is very attractive. 10 cards after a street to win, so there's 10 cards left. Yeah.
All right, so if you're Doc here, Hokusai and Akimo aren't going to have the greatest turns. Both disarmed, both really kind of blocked in from doing much.
Going with Hokusai.
Okay, looks like
he's attacking.
Declaring an attack. Yep, hitting Korchoff for 1.
Yep, he's disarmed.
Yep, disarmed. A worship.
The damage from the worship will not be halved. Disarm is only attacks and skirmishes.
All right, flipping a +2. So we worshipped Brilvar there. So 3 piercing to Brilvar. 3 to himself.
And that's going to make Akimo's attack way better.
Yeah.
Her partially better.
And then it looks like a lead. So where are we going to put this lead from?
I have to imagine it's from his deck, but I don't know.
Because the last thing you want is to lose the dome and Eric to win 3 more tactician points here.
Correct. Has a bad day.
There it is. So he's going to lead from hand. He did get to draw 2 cards from the attacks from the Lachlan on the outsider. So he had 5 cards in hand. So it's a good bet he had a 3. Or you play the bluff. One of the things I love most about Skytear is when you lead from hand and totally just bluffing that I've got the 3, and you just throw down the Psychic Shield instead. That's what.
All right, going with Korshav.
All right.
Moving up.
Okay, so he's just going for the attacks. We're going to have a 4+ here. Because he is shapeshifted. Flipping a +1, so that's 5 piercing damage. A 9 going down to 4.
And a +3 will kill him.
+3 will do it.
Skirmish.
He's going to get +1 because he is next to within 3 of Brilvar.
RC +1 for each shapeshifted hero?
Yeah, flipping a 1. So yeah, so it's 2 damage. So might have been a +2 there. Right, he +1 for him, +1 for Brilvar.
Oh, so it's shapeshifted heroes get +1.
Okay. So it's just the +1. So flipping a +1. So hitting a 2. Taking the terror down to 2. So Akimo is going to have to waste an attack on Brilvar. Unless he has damage out of hand cards. I don't know if we're going to see the outsider go down this round.
I mean, he just needs a +2 on the skirmish, right? Or he needs +3 on the skirmish.
Akimo's also disarmed.
Oh, yeah,
everybody
definitely
got disarmed.
What a fascinating game.
Yeah. All right, so if Akima's going to activate, we know that the very first action must be to attack Brilvar.
I wonder if Eric has a damaged card in his hand right now. And is just waiting for the next turn to start.
He does have 4 cards in hand. How bad I would love to go digging through that discard pile.
Oh, it hurts.
But thank you, Rafa, for taking the time to record this game for us. We really do appreciate it. The community thanks you.
Yeah, it would be a shame if this game was not able to be viewed.
Flipping a +3 and a +3.
So that'll be 8.
So 4
minus the 2 armor.
Yep,
Yep.
just taking 2. How bad does that feel? You do 8 damage to a character, and through disarm and shields, they take 2. Ugh.
It's not the feeling you want with that
It's
deck.
not what you want. Yeah, you bring a chemo to do the 8. You don't bring a chemo to do 2. All right, so if you're a chemo, what else do we do here?
I think you move.
Move and skirmish into...
You don't have to skirmish. You can move and lead. You just want to be in range to actually be able to do something on the first activation of next round, in case Eric doesn't have the card that he needs.
Yeah.
Because currently both Nalaklan and Akino are being taunted. Yami is going to be his best bet to finish off the outsider, I guess. But having options is always good.
Yeah. So, you know, it almost makes Yami being in the dome here has really left it wide open for Eric to snipe a kill here with an out-of-hand damage card.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Doc doesn't have any way to do anything almost makes you wonder, is he regretting leaving that outsider out there like that? But at the time, you got to hope Eric doesn't have 2 disarm cards.
But if I know one thing about Eric, he always has the cards he needs.
Except for last night, I kept saying over and over, Eric has a sinkhole, Eric has a sinkhole, and not once did Eric ever have a sinkhole.
Interesting positioning. He's not even threatening a card from hand against the outside. I guess he doesn't really have any direct damage cards.
Does he run any Nightmare Incarnates or anything like that, even on with Yami able to cast the yellow?
The Nightmares Incarnates are on Habarat.
Okay.
So he's not running it right now.
All right, so Eric is going to win at least 2 Tactician points, winning both lane 1 and lane 2, getting some tower damage. But really, it's all going to come down to hear what's happening in the middle. I missed what happened.
I guess Doc is going to get to activate the outsider still. I didn't think about that.
Okay, so yeah, Doc did win the dome. It's currently 4-2 on the Tactician points. All right, so we're seeing a skirmish for +2 on to Korjov, moving him into the dome. Looks like he's picking up Brilvar and putting him outside of the dome. So that's going to give Brilvar a disarm and then moving him to the opposite side. All right, so now the players are just cleaning up. We'll be heading into round 3. Freyhill will get to come back into the game. And I really think this boils down to who is going to put the last 2 points of damage into the outsider. Doc is going to, as the first player, he's going to get a chance to activate here. No one is taunted by Brilvar.
Activating Hokusai.
Going with Hokusai. So now does Eric have a sinkhole?
A Wind Blast from Korjov to kill the outsider.
Is that what was just played? Did we just see?
I think so.
I didn't see it pop up on the stack. The Wind Blast just does 2 damage, right?
That's all it needs from a Korjov, though.
Oh, that's right. It is piercing. So I didn't see anything played yet. Yeah, and Eric letting us know Wind Blast is an action. You can't react with a Wind Blast. So yeah, good point.
That makes sense.
Wind Blast, that's a bad card. It needs to be reaction. I kid. Wind Blast is fantastic. All right, so Hokusai activation, I believe, on the stack here. Eric in the chat letting us know we're going to be waiting a while.
Worth noting.
Yeah, so Tim, what's new in your life? The people want to know.
New in my life. I recently got the COVID vaccine.
Thank you for doing your part, Tim.
You're welcome. Well, the first shot at least. I'm excited to get the second shot. I am a firm believer in vaccines and science.
As am I. I was glad that my wife was able to get one through her school that she works at. So I cannot wait to get mine.
Yeah. My wife and I actually were able to get it the same day through separate facilities. So that was nice.
Fantastic.
What about you, Ian? What's new with you?
I have started playing the Flesh and Blood card game. And got to play.
Enjoying that?
I am enjoying it. Got to play in a skirmish event yesterday, all over webcam. And
how did you end up doing?
Finished 3-2. I was one of the
Nice.
only Rangers in the field. I was the only Ranger with a winning record in the field.
Wow.
So I was very happy with the outcome.
Did
But
you get anything for that?
did not win anything. I placed 12th out of 32.
Nice.
So we'll see. I might win a random drawing that's going to go out to 8 players to win a cold foil hero card that might be coming. So we'll see.
Well, that'll be lovely if you do. I still haven't played that game or seen how it plays. I've heard nothing but good things from my
I was going to
friends.
say, you happen to have a brother who is really into it at the moment.
I do.
I would bet he'd be willing to show you a few things.
I would assume that he would too.
But I'm looking forward to the future of Skytear. I think the game is only on an upward trajectory here, and I'm really excited about where the Nearies are taking the game, and just excited for what's to come.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think that they're doing a killer job so far as a new developer, a new publisher, and I'm really excited to see what the next, 5 years of Skytear looks like.
I'm still looking forward to the day, Tim, where we can sit across a table and play a game with our beautifully painted miniatures.
It's going to be so wonderful.
I can't wait.
It's going to be so wonderful.
So we do see the move from Hokusai as the move is declared.
Yep.
He's so excited he wants to do it twice.
I bet Eric would let him.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. So as the move's declared, Eric's got to think here, what can I do? Because if he gets a move off, all he has to do is worship, but we're going to see a sinkhole being played from Freyhill, who is just going to use it to body block Hokusai in.
So this is going to be huge potentially if he has a second sinkhole, because now he's forcing Hokusai to go up into the left.
Yep. And if Brilvar happens to have one,
he can lock him in.
All right, so now Doc probably doing a little counting. How far can I get? So just moving 3 would put him within enough range to be able to take a worship action. So he would need another sort of effect to keep Hokusai back. Another one here. But very clever play to at least make him work for it here, to use a street at a block.
So if he moves and then declares the worship, he can sinkhole him out of range.
Yep.
If he skirmishes first, that's a different thing.
Yeah, if he's able to get that worship off, I think it's just going to be GG. So
yep. I agree.
All right, so it looks like he's just probably doing some counting. Where can I move? How far can I get? But I think you got to move him up into the left around the Lachlan. And interesting. Going the other way. So do you think he's doing that just to avoid another sinkhole? Like
maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know that he has a way to get fast or within range.
Okay, so a rampant hatred being played from Hokusai. So he's at he's going to be at +4. Or are we taken back here? I'm not sure. Okay. Rampant Hatred is being played after the move. But you can't even get to the outsider here though, even with the 4 skirmish points, right?
He can get in range of a worship though.
Ah, there it is. That's what I'm missing. Okay. Oh. Of course Eric has a snowblind. Why wouldn't he?
Indeed.
Astrida playing a snowblind, giving a disarm to Hokusai.
That still doesn't help with the worship though.
Right. All right, flipping a +2 on Astrida, going down to 12. All right, taking a skirmish action. Looks like we're just going to flip on Astrida, +3. So with the disarm, only going to go down to 9. And here's the worship. Could not be stopped, +1. And there it is.
GG.
Hunting for power. Wins again. So we have a champion for the February Skytear World Championship.
Qualifier.
Skytear World Championship Qualifier. Doc Nicka, congratulations on winning the February Qualifier. And congratulations to Eric on putting up a tremendous fight. So Eric, I'll hang out here for a minute if you want to jump into our chat on the Discord and maybe talk to Tim and I a little bit about the game. So if you think about it, Eric, we'll hang out here for a minute.
I think that there's a delay on the stream a little bit.
Yeah, so we'll give him a second here.
That game was intense. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
As everybody gets to see my background there, we'll give you
just a black screen.
We'll give you the VLC here. Caution cone.
It looks very similar to my desktop background.
That's right. Yeah, Michael in the chat asking where was the sinkhole placed. We probably went a little bit too fast to target, but hey, there's Eric.
Hi guys.
Hey. So, what a fun game! Fascinating.
It was a fascinating game. Like back to back, these are two of the better Skytear games that I've played, and both of them were intense and down to the very last flips.
Eric, somebody in the chat was asking that sinkhole played from Astrida or from Freyhill. Where exactly did you target that to be able to move?
So Frail's outside, so up and to the right of the dome, just so I was able to grab Astrida and push her over one.
Yeah.
So basically, if he picks anybody except for Hokusai to go, my sinkhole can just grab him and keep him in place. So Hokusai is the only guy that was outside of range of sinkhole when he pushed Brilvar out, so that was good. But then as soon as he activated, he was like, "Oh crap! What if he has chasm? Because I can chasm and sinkhole." And they, looked through my discard and found I didn't have any chasms. And so then he was like, "Oh, you could have two sinkholes." And so he was spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to avoid a double sinkhole because they were on the outside. So he figured out a way.
Yeah.
Yep. Because you were mentioning like he could move in skirmish going the other way, but no, because if he does a skirmish, I sinkhole with Brilvar, push Hokusai back, and then Korjov goes and blocks that spot so that he can't get in. So I can wall everything off with those sinkholes.
Crazy. That was a crazy game.
Yep. So when I went with it with Korjov, it was like a 16% chance to win, right? But at that point, I was like, I can't go to the next round. I don't, he's going to have control of the outsider. I don't know where he's going to put it. I don't think I have enough control to do anything. But I did also have a Nightmares Incarnate. So when I had it at 2, I was like, if he makes a mistake and he's near a Street or Korjov, I might be able to get something.
I wonder if you don't do the skirmish against him, the outsider, just so that Worship doesn't automatically kill him.
Yeah, but I didn't know I was going to keep... I thought, like, he Rampant Hatreds with Malaklan, right? And I was like, I can't stop that. That's going to be so much damage, right?
But you could have stopped it with a sinkhole, right?
Possibly. That's true. But then, and then I can... So that might be true. The other thing is, if I had... And I don't know that he plays in the same place, but if I had skirmished Korjov just one hex over... in the same place, I sinkhole Korjov across to the other side of the thing, and then Nightmares Incarnate to get the win. Yeah. So
that's beautiful.
But again, he might have put the bear on the other side, but then I get to put Frail on the other side. So there was an awful lot going on there. So it might not have. I don't know. I was going through permutations like crazy, and I know he was too because he was kind of talking through it. Most of it in Spanish, so I didn't understand it. But he was talking out loud and then saying words like chasm once in a while and saying sinkhole and stuff. So it was great.
That's awesome. That was a great game. Well played. Congrats to Doc Nicka for winning, and congrats to you for making it to the finals, Eric.
Yep, he played a great job.
Well, Eric, thanks for jumping in and just sharing a little bit about the game. Again, thanks to Rafa for taking the time to record this today so we could stream this and share this to the world. Obviously, this was a fantastic game, and we're so glad that everybody's going to get to see this. and just keep your eyes peeled. We'll have more games coming up. So Eric, as the organized play guy, what do we have to look forward to coming up?
So Crito is running a team league here coming up. So I don't know if signups have been completed or not, but somebody could jump into that. And then he has, after that, a 2v2 league coming up. And then we will keep having these world qualifiers every month until June, when we'll have a invitational for 8 players. Tim and the top 7 shard holders at that point will be able to get into that. And I guess the other really big news is Tuesday, things are going to be a-changing. So rules and stuff. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
And be on the lookout for the Tuesday email.
It's going to be exciting.
So Tim, any last words?
No, I think that was great. Thanks everybody for watching. We really appreciate you all for tuning in and watching these videos. Until next time.
Yeah. Have a good night, everyone. All right, we are out of here.